Lamar, you wanted to go through a few of these bullet points here.
Yeah, I mean, the basic techniques that Nixon used were so successful for him, and that Trump used them, which was how I was able to predict Trump's victory, sadly, 4.5 months before he was elected. I hate to use that term where Trump's concerned, but first off, the number one thing that Nixon perfected, starting even before he ran for president, back when he was vice president, was fear, ignorance, bigotry, and smears, which a Republican senator, I believe, in the early 50s, coined that as F.I.B.S. And so if you think about it, almost everything we're going to talk about today, or everything that Trump ever does, fits into either fear, ignorance by spreading lies, bigotry, or smears. And they worked great for Nixon, and they worked great for Trump. One of the other things they use often is what I call the opposite of the truth trick, which is part of the ignorance part, and that's where if you listen to what Trump is saying, like it is Orlando rollout, almost everything he's condemning the Democrats for are things that he himself is guilty of, and yet because he gets out in front and hits them hard and in ways that most Democrats are too polite to fight back, that actually sticks, not just with Trump's base, but with a lot of undecided people in the middle. The third thing are what we would call the McCarthy-Cohn tactics, which are basically bigotry and smears. I mean, it's like smear, 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 attack, 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 never apologize. And for Trump, that has worked. They both had Nixon and Trump enemies list. I mean, Nixon actually had physical enemies list. Trump pretty much doesn't hide. He's very public about his. Nixon and Trump were also great at playing the victim. I mean, Nixon, before he was elected president, he was a rich man who had been vice president for 8 years and was in political wilderness for a while. And of course, Trump, claims to have had a lot of money, certainly has a lot of fame, and yet they're constantly able to play the victim to their base. And like I say, unfortunately, some people in the middle. Divide and conquer is one of their other big techniques that they use, and that's whether it's on abortion or immigration or whatever. There's no gray. It's like you're here or you're there, and then you guys fight. When really a lot of that stuff is just a smokescreen to hide other, either funneling money to the wealthy or other crimes people like Trump and people like our governor here in Georgia have committed. Next to last thing is politicizing the FBI. I mean, back when the Kavanaugh hearing was going on, you had that period of time when people were going to the FBI, walking in FBI offices, calling the FBI, saying, I've got information on Kavanaugh, and the FBI apparently had been instructed to say, why are you calling us? Why you're saying this guy committed a crime? Why we're the FBI? Why should we care? Which I hadn't seen that kind of thing, frankly, since the aftermath of the FBI and the JFK assassination, and so politicizing the FBI, and then last but not least, threatening the news media. I mean, that was a big part of Nixon's enemies list. I mean, Trump saying the New York Times is committing treason. I mean, it's the things you almost wouldn't expect to see in America, and yet it works.